Your life comes down to just a few key high-pressure moments. A job interview, asking somebody to marry you, how you handle yourself in an emergency situation. Your life is dictated by how you perform in those moments. If you keep your head and do what you know you need to do, you could change your life for the better. If you crack, you make the best of the experience, and you do your best to not falter the next time that comes around. The thing about these high-pressure situations is that you can't actually train for a high-pressure situation without actually being in one. If you know it's a test, the pressure goes away, and then, well, you're not testing for the high-pressure situation, you're testing for something else. So can we prepare ourselves for these moments? Well, actually, I think we can. You might not have noticed this, but if you've played Portal before, you were actually given opportunities to test yourself in these high-pressure situations while you're playing the game. One particular high-pressure situation might stand out to you. You've just finished learning all of the core mechanics of how this game works. You've solved most of the puzzles, GLaDOS has promised you your cake, and through all of this, you're riding on an elevator to get your cake. But then, just as you round the corner, the music goes up, your blood pressure rises, and you realize you're not getting the cake that you were promised. You've been thrown into a real high-pressure situation. How did we get here? So let's back up. For those of you not familiar with Portal, it is one of the most groundbreaking puzzle games that has ever graced the PC sphere. Before Portal, there were games that slightly messed with the limits of physics, but Portal outright breaks everything that you know about how to navigate in a 3D space. You wake up as a test subject in a room that's a little too reminiscent of just a plain doctor's office, and are then introduced to some of the most basic mechanics of this game. You're introduced to portals as a passage between two fixed points, kind of like a door. You're then shown how weighted cubes work and, well, how pressure switches work and how to open doors. All pretty basic stuff. You know the Seinfeld effect? The idea that watching Seinfeld today isn't funny because all other sitcoms after Seinfeld have taken its formula and iterated on it and made it better. Putting a cube on a button feels obvious now. That's just the Seinfeld effect. Portal invented the bit, and now every puzzle game is doing tight 5-minute sets on pressure plates. There are moments where playing Portal 1 in 2025 you can really feel the slowness of this. A lot of these mechanics today are introduced in almost every game, every puzzle game in a 3D space, and even some not puzzle games. These mechanics, when they were introduced, were groundbreaking at the time. And in teaching players how to navigate through them and how to use these was actually a very important problem that the developers needed to figure out while they were developing the game. The following puzzles each teach a new mechanic that you're supposed to remember and use throughout your playthrough. GLaDOS, your sarcastic, godlike voice in the sky, guides you through each of these levels and reminds you that you're not the first to complete any of these, and you're actually one of the slowest.
Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time.
You learn how to get these little spheres to activate switches and doors, how to get boxes in seemingly impossible places, how to avoid turrets in their lines of sight, which surfaces are portalable, and most importantly, how your momentum transfers between portals when you fling yourself through a portal. The only constant gameplay mechanic throughout the game is this: you will go through a portal throughout each level. There are 19 structured chambers in Portal. The first 15 puzzles are 1 to 2 room little puzzles where it really just kind of teaches you the basics of the game. It also shows you what hazards you might face and the consequences of getting intimate with those hazards. Chamber 15 and onward are longer, more drawn out puzzles that often require you to backtrack in order to access the final elevator. The culmination of all of this preparation is chambers 18 and 19. While these two chambers are separated by an elevator, they really do kind of fit together to make the whole climax of the game. Chamber 18 requires you to use literally everything that you've learned throughout the game, and it's arguably the hardest structured chamber that you can play in Portal 1. After you've proven yourself in Chamber 18, you get to 19. This is the real test. Chamber 19 is relatively easy. One simple elevator that GLaDOS claims will bring you to your reward. The real test is obscured by a number of minor obstacles that keep us from really noticing that there is anything out of the ordinary. And then, the music goes up. You turn the corner. Something isn't quite right. That isn't a room full of cake. That's certain death. Or is it? This is the moment that I'm talking about. This is the high-pressure situation that Portal lets you practice. No countdown, no warning. This isn't just a twist. This is the test. A moment that asks, are you the kind of person that can get yourself out of a hard situation? Or have you learned nothing and just been vibing with portal guns? Most people panic. They freeze. But if you stay calm, keep your head, look around, and do the things that you've been trained to do, you live. And then it hits you. This wasn't just a hard puzzle. This was a personal test of your composure. You only get one shot at this test. One shot to actually practice being in a high pressure situation. Because once you know it's coming, it just becomes a regular puzzle. A pretty easy one at that. That first rep, that's the only one that counts. Here's the thing, in real life, we don't get to practice for the big moments. Interviews, emergencies, confronting your boss. You've got one shot to keep your cool, or end up lying at the bottom of the garbage water, wondering how long the screen is gonna stay red while you think about your failures. Look, Portal is a game about physics puzzles. Portals, cubes, those little sphere things, momentum. And on paper, that sounds like it should be on some kind of standardized test. But secretly, it's about something deeper. Can you think clearly while your brain is getting overloaded by real threats? I still remember the first time that I was in that chamber. I waited on the elevator for way too long. I was thinking that GLaDOS might actually reward me if I trusted her that she was going to lead me into the fire and then kind of, surprise, you figured it out. You know, I'm not actually going to kill you. Here's your cake. Yeah, I was naive. But I was young also when I played this game, so. But something clicked when the fire actually started making the screen change color. I knew I needed to get out of there, and I did. This game, at times, feels real. And the buildup that brought us here, that is what makes it so special about the payoff. I remember interviewing for my first job. I remember asking my wife to marry me. I remember asking her out for the first time and holding her hand for the first time before we were even dating. Looking back on these moments, it's clear that how I composed myself actually did make a difference. My wife did marry me, but I needed to ask her out before any of that. I did get the job, but I had to sell myself in the interview without cracking under the pressure. And all of these high-pressure situations gave me practice for the next one, including the elevator, where the sarcastic GLaDOS AI tried to kill me. Portal isn't only good for teaching you how to act in a high-pressure situation. It does a lot more than that, too. If you only play games for fun, you're missing some of the best parts. Games can be low-stakes simulations for high-stakes skills. It can teach you about history, philosophy, complex economic theories, how to drive a car, how to become a better parent, even something simple like how to pack your groceries better. I've created a system that extracts exactly what a game can teach you, if that thing is actually useful in your real life, and then if the game is actually good at teaching you that thing. I rate all of the games that I've done a review for with the exact same scale, so we can kind of compare them to see which game might be better and which game might be worse. If you want the full review and you want kind of a little bit more of a deep dive, you can check out my Patreon for that. The reviews there are free, but if you want a good place to support this work, then that's a great place to do it. So, is Portal actually a good game to learn anything from? Let's invite up GLaDOS and look at her report card together. So, okay, we got here the report card. Let's take a look. All right, first up we got real life skills. It's an important part. This, you got an 8 out of 10. That's pretty good. Not bad at all. Impressive. It says that you teach high pressure situations really well. Not much more. Getting a high score though, because high pressure situations is obviously really important. So that's good. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, problem solving. Wow. Perfect score there. It says that you are the golden standard for a problem solving game. That's definitely saying something. You should be proud of that.
Testing is my only happiness.
Right. Okay. Empathy building. This is a disappointing score. It's a 5 out of 10. Honestly surprised that you got any points. You don't teach too much about this, really, do you?
I am a mirror. I show you who you are.
Quite right. Yes. Okay. Well, wow, an impressive showing for the message. What would you say that you teach?
Trusting authority is often unwise.
Yes, right. Wow. A perfect score for enjoyability. Not too many, that's really good. Wow, impressive.
If you scored games that were not fun, this channel would be terrible.
An impressive overall score of 9 out of 10. This means that you can join an elite class of games that not only teach your players effectively, but teach them something actually important that they can use in their lives. Well done! If this is your first time here and you liked this video, I have so much more content already posted up, and I have a lot more coming. So if you like this, you had a good time, please let me know. Go ahead and subscribe. Find me on any of the social media sites. I got Instagram, Discord, I don't know, Twitter. You could find me anywhere, and I would love to hear from you, especially if you're hearing this right now. It means you made it all the way to the end. And yeah, my most recent video is up on the screen, and there's one more for you if you're not interested in that one. Please check either one of those out if you're interested. And it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.